Yeah, so like you talked about your opinion of like the modern anime scene. So like, what are some of your favorite anime? Because I don't think we mentioned that.
It's normie as hell, but I mean, I always just enjoyed Evangelion, like back then, because
Yeah,
it was.
of course.
I mean,
I'd say it's less normie now than it is back then.
I guess so, but back then, so in Australia, I'd seen a lot of stuff, but then it came out on TV on SBS, which is like a public channel in Australia.
It's like where they like air a lot of the international shows.
Right.
Yeah, it's they show like there was a guy called Des Mangan who presented like the cult movies and stuff, and sometimes it'd be anime, and I was like, anime's on tonight, yeah. Like, back then, whatever you could get, you took it, like because it'd be professionally subtitled, it'd be really good, and they would show Evangelion. They had like an anime block where they showed some stuff for a while, and that was good because that came out on TV, so everyone had a shared experience of it at that time. So you know what I mean? Like I think really it's very important, that shared experience when it comes to this sort of media. I think like it's mostly about video games, that sort of thing. Like you know, if you meet someone who's played like Final Fantasy VII, it's like you immediately have a huge thing in common.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite part?
Like, You've all done the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was probably the first time that like mainstream anime was shown on TV. So you sort of discovered other people who were into it too, because they'd watch it. It was accessible.
Yeah.
So I guess that it had a bit of an impact, and it was very, it wasn't the standard monster of the week show. There's a lot more to it. And I'm not trying to make it sound like it's super deep or anything, because it wasn't, but it was just really, it solidified like,
It was engaging, right?
It was very engaging. It wasn't afraid to make something different, like a show that's a bit different, but at the same time used every trope.
Yeah.
Combined, like, whatever.
That's the weird thing about a lot of anime. It is the most tropey, unique shows that for some reason get the most attention. It's like, you look at it, like someone will look at it and being like Ava, for instance, right? Someone will look at Ava and being like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this at all. But at the same time, it's the type of show where another person will look at it and be like, this has every trope that I've ever seen.
Dude,
in it.
One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Okay, my cousin's kids a couple of Christmases ago when I went back, and they started talking about, oh yeah, we watched this thing, One Punch Man, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I blew their minds by going, this is actually based on a little kid's TV show called Anpanman. And that character is based on like the Dragon Ball character, this one, and it was actually voiced by the same guy.
You dropped the anime knowledge on them.
I explained the whole
worldwide over
You fucking schooled them, man.
I just thought like, okay, so everything you like is actually based on something else.
Your life is a lie. Don't be happy. I'm going to tell you what.
That's exactly what I was aiming to destroy them, because it was just fun.
Destroying them with facts and history.
See, that's what this is, and so you actually like this. You should actually like this. But again, it's a gateway thing. Like anything that gets people into it, it's like, look, I don't. Who cares anymore? Like, oh, you're a bunch of normie fans. What do you know? It's like, no, you start somewhere, you go this far. It's like the same thing. Like, you guys have done drifting. If you don't want to go any further, it's like, well, why would you? Like, if you don't understand enough, that's fine. You enjoyed it. It was like you got your adrenaline hit, and it was some weird stuff you've never done before. And you have a new experience that you've done. It's in Japan. Like, you've done drifting in Japan.
Yeah.
Like that was, I guess this is the thing that I have to offer to other people. And I always try and not force it on them, but if I can at some opportunity, like for example, when Wreckful and Soda Poppin' came to Japan for their legendary stream on Twitch, their IRL stream. Like I hunted them down and said, you have to come and go drifting. Because Team Orange had those two of their drift cars at Odaiba, which is only about
very close,
less than an hour from anywhere in Tokyo, to go drifting. So because I know them, I hooked it up. I said, yeah, come here, we'll meet here, we'll take them in, send them drifting. They went out that night and did Rem and Ram cosplay on the streets. So I guess they had a good day, you know. I've done other guys like the IRL streamer Jake and Bake, the Japanese IRL streamer. Like I got him a ride in a D1 Grand Prix car. It was about maybe 1,200 horsepower GTR. Live streaming it to like whatever it was, like 20,000, 12,000, whatever people. I love to, if I can just present it to people as like because I think it is a really good part of Japanese culture that is not only fun and relatable, but like you said, like it because of Fast and Furious. People have seen Initial D.
Yeah.
And I think it's a cool thing that I like people to experience, and I
They're also super
enjoy it.
welcoming as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they were really friendly to us at the
Now, if
track.
only every community was like that.
Like,
Go ahead.
Okay, no, because I was going to say, I mean, like you talked about how to, getting people to experience this for the first time. I mean, I'm sure we've done that, like introducing our friends and everything into anime, where we can just like recommend a show or something. But I feel like it's infinitely harder with drifting because, like, as we've talked about, the barrier of entry is like so high, and I feel like it's one of those hobbies where no one just casually drifts. You know what I mean? You can't just be a casual drifter. You're like either in this all the way, or like it's something you experienced once. And I would love to go drifting more. It was a fucking hell of an experience, but at the same time, it's like, do I have the time and the money to commit to this? And it's something.
Just quit gacha. You'll be, like, he said he spent like 30K was it?
I mean, that's a minimum.
That's
though.
probably Gaunt's like monthly allowance on gacha. Come on, quit gacha.
He
Gaunt.
was telling me on the train here that he's like, man, I would go drifting. I just have to quit gacha. But it's so hard.
I think one thing that I really appreciate about your channel in particular, and to anyone listening, that whereas a lot of YouTubers here who live in Japan who are foreign, it feels like an outsider looking in on a lot of the content. And what was really refreshing, I think, from your videos, what I got was that it was like you were in it with them, and that you knew all the big players in the scene.
Yeah.
It was really cool seeing that aspect, because I thought when I first watched your videos that it was going to be like, hey, I'm here, let's find out what's going on, I'm going to see what's happening. But you were like saying hi to everyone knew you. It was so cool. It was
I
really
roll deep.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing that, like, you get a YouTuber in Japan who is really deep in the scene to the point of where, even the people in the Japanese scene would know you. And, it's really cool seeing that.
That mostly came from the fact that back in the day when I was doing journalist work.
You've been around so long.
Well, it's like if I want to get access to cool stuff, I have to
make friends.
Make friends. I have to get known to people and have to show them. I would.
You're serious.
Any event, I would show up. This is the thing about anything about Japan, especially, is show up. Obviously, right now you can't really do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be in something, show up, talk to people, get to know people. I mean, I've been on tours of like a couple of anime studios because I'm friends with someone else who knows someone else, and you just because you know someone, and Alexi's into that stuff. Why don't we go? You want to come too? We're doing something, and it's just knowing people, and eventually it gets to a tipping point where it's like you show up and like, oh yeah, there's Alexia, and that's what my friends told me. Like when I first got here, it's like it's very difficult for a Japanese person to get to know and trust a foreigner because they just assume that you're not going to be here in like a year or so. And like another person told me too, like, Alexi, you have to keep going to track days again and like all the time, because if you don't, people are just going to forget about you straight away. So I do make an effort to, even if I'm not driving, like, I got today off, I'll go to the track. Maybe I'll take my equipment with me. Maybe if there's something cool, I'll make a video, but otherwise I'll just hang around and talk to people. And walk through the pits, and everyone, morning, ohayo, and then eventually they'll come to you. Oh, actually, ohayo, like, and they'll have something cool, like, and someone will be like, oh, are you driving today? Oh no, I just turned up. It's like, oh, you want to take my car out for a couple of laps? I'm like, hell yeah. I got my helmet in the van. Like, I'll bring my helmet with me just in case. Maybe go for a
Take
passenger
shirt
ride.
off like the whole kid.
I'm ready. Got my race suit on. It's just show up and do it, and it gets like that after a while. I mean, I've been here 12 years, so, and I've been coming here for longer than that too. So
but I think that kind of applies with any social situation,
Absolutely,
right? It's
yeah.
like, it's just,
Show up.
It's about commitment, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta, if you want to be known in that circle, or you want to be part of that circle, whatever that circle might be, or whatever that niche might be, like, if you don't make an effort to want to actually show, your commitment to it, or want to be like part of it, then you're not going to get in, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I was going to say, like, it's the same thing with like, with like the anime industry as well. Like, once you know a couple of people, it's such a small industry that your face just gets known everywhere, as long as you're staying committed to it. Like, that's really the only reason why, like, any of us have like
That's just like our friend Nabi in like a nutshell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He just seems to know everyone, and when I ask him, he just says, "Oh, I just know a guy who knows a guy who I've just been around enough."
I just make go around and just make myself known.
Yeah.
Like, that's so. But the thing is, that's like so much easier said than done.
Yeah. Yeah.
because it is a lot of commitment and it does take time, and it's not guaranteed either that you're going to get results.
No, it's
right?
it's just you just gotta build up recognition and everything. Because it was interesting you mentioned the point that people in Japan just assume people are going to be living here like unpermanently, because having lived abroad in like a few different countries, there's like you make some expat friends sometimes, right? Who you could be like the closest friends with them for like a few years, but then eventually they're gonna move back, and it's really hard building up a friendship from zero again when sometimes that people aren't going to be here in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that I made some friends here when I just moved here, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm making friends, and then they left. I was like, damn. Finally started getting a good list of friends going, and they all just fucking left.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they had their own problems?
How dare they?
No.
The audacity.
The audacity.
The audacity to have nationalities aside from the place I'm living right this moment.